You're doing something pretty dangerous in the streets of Atlanta. You are riding your bike, but it's not a car that hits you. You actually hit a sunken manhole and cause hundreds of dollars to damage to your bike. But who's supposed to pay for it? Is that the city? Is that the state? This is a Better Call Harry investigation with a great outcome. I'm Anastasia Olmos, joined by Harry Samler with Behind the Investigation here at Atlanta News First. Harry, this is a great outcome. This is your third story where we got the positive outcome.
Well, this is why we do these behind the scenes, because, and I'll be honest, that when I first received the email, I didn't think we were going to do it. I mean, it was a bicyclist who bent his rim on one of those sunken manhole covers. But you know what? We've all hit one of those. And it wasn't just that, it was storm drains. And it turns out it was a project that was only a couple of years old, and they had resurfaced everything. But the surface of the new pavement was higher than the manhole covers and the sewer drains. And one of them was like 6 inches deep. So this story about the bicyclist kind of evolved into something so much bigger, and it's accountability of local and state government. And I need to stop talking because you need to see how it turned out. In February 2023, Georgia's DOT authorized a $1.7 million contract to pave a little over a mile of State Route 139, aka Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard. By February 2024, project complete. Except it wasn't. That's why, nearly 2 years later, a construction crew spent a week raising storm drain grates up and down the street. The repairs follow complaints from a bicyclist and an Atlanta News First investigation about street resurfacing and the potential hazards it leaves behind.
Well, it's another one where the grate's below the surface of the asphalt.
Steve Williams says he was dodging a sunken storm drain. He damaged his rim on a sunken manhole cover. The question he had, who's supposed to fix this stuff? And what about his bike? The city of Atlanta denied his $227 damage claim.
When you got that denial letter, what'd you think?
Well, I thought about you.
Paving projects are complicated, with line items for just about everything. There was funding to raise the manhole covers on Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, but not the one Steve hit. According to Georgia's Department of Transportation, it was AT&T's responsibility. In our last story, AT&T raised the manhole covers and it paid Steve's claim. But what about the storm drains? In July, Georgia's DOT said it was the city of Atlanta's responsibility to fix the side road grates. Until our follow-up report in November, when the city disputed it. The City of Atlanta Department of Watershed Management is not responsible for adjustments to stormwater assets along Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, as this was a Georgia Department of Transportation project. The very next day, Georgia's DOT reassessed the situation and assigned one of its crews to make the repairs.
I absolutely loved this story, not just because of the positive solution, but just the way that you tell the story and really take the viewer out onto the street. I mean, this is my daily drive into work, is these manholes, hitting my car, and I think I got to get an alignment. And I mean, this is a bike, but Harry, I already saw we have another tip in for damage to a car from this sunken manhole issue. Do you find that this is just going to be an issue where you're going to have to make a call in order to get it fixed?
I mean, listen, I've been covering roads and traffic for 20 years now. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
I mean, since I was 6 years old, I've been covering this. And it's never going to go away. I mean, you have to have the oversight for, the inspector to come out and look at the paving work and say, you did this, you didn't do this. And if the city or the state paid to level out these manhole covers or sewer drains that will, prevent you from getting a flat tire or damaging your rim, then they should fix it. And in this case, we were really surprised because I thought it was the city of Atlanta's responsibility
Right.
because the greats said the city of Atlanta on them. And GDOT was like, okay, it's their responsibility to fix the side drains. And then the city saw our second story and they fired back and said, no, this is not our responsibility. This was their project. And the very next day, they were out there making the repairs. And it was really nice to see because they were doing it right. You could see now they didn't just
It looked good.
lift them up. I mean, they rebuilt them the way that they're supposed to be. So that was nice to see. Like you said, though, the problem is that this happens all over Metro Atlanta. Although I will say this, I've noticed in smaller cities, let's say it's like Dunwoody or Sandy Springs, there's more oversight. So when you see some of these paving jobs, they'll go back out there and you'll see everything is smooth. Now, am I 100% on that when I say Dunwoody and Sandy Springs? No, but I mean, these are just things I've noticed over the years.
So just for, anybody listening, they could be anywhere in the United States, but what is your typical advice? It sounds like this man, he tried to reach out, and a lot of times people reach out to you or I or
Right.
any of us because they're not getting responses. What should the average person do?
It's tough. It really is. And unless you know somebody who, maybe you have a friend who's a lawyer or you know somebody who can write a letter for you. I mean, there are certain...
AI?
Well, I'm not going to promote... Well, you know what?
It's gotten easier.
You know what? I mean, write me a legal letter,
Yeah.
Requesting for damages. I include these photos. And if you want to do that, go ahead if it looks good.
And you're saying send it to the city or...
Well, that's the
state.
problem. And that's why this is so tough. It's because you got to figure out whose road it is. Because you would think Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Southwest Atlanta. Well, that's the city of Atlanta. Well, no, it's State Route 139. It's actually GDOT. And wait a second, that manhole cover that I hit, that I busted I blew a tire on, it says, Bell South, which eventually became AT&T. And it's like, oh, I may need to file my claim with them. You just don't know. I will say generally on state routes, you want to start with District 7 and you can do GDOT, look up GDOT District 7 online. We've also got this information attached to this story on our website. And you start by making a claim with them. And they may ignore you. That's why I'm thinking if you have that legal letter and maybe that's the answer, throw it through
Little
AI,
pressure.
use it as a tool, it might help.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned you've been covering these types of road issues since you were 6 years old, but he's not kidding, guys. Actually, if you just search Better Call Harry and potholes, there are stories that go back here in Atlanta, and you've gotten a lot of roads fixed. Of course, you have your tip line if anyone, is looking for help with a story. Better Call Harry. This is Atlanta News First Behind the Investigation. Thanks for tuning into Behind the Investigation with Atlanta News First Investigates. For more on this story, go to atlantanewsfirst.com and click on the ANF Investigates tab. You can listen to more award-winning investigations wherever you get your podcasts by searching Behind the Investigation with Atlanta News First. And tune in Sundays for an hour-long episode of Uncovered, where we highlight some of our biggest investigations that impact our communities.